Okay, we will go ahead with Rory Dollard. Go ahead, Rory.
Hello, David. How are you doing?
Rory, very well. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks for talking to us.
No worries at all.
I guess we could start with how you felt really when you got that call and found out that you were going to be getting those England whites on again after a little while out.
Yeah, unbelievable feeling. There's been obviously a bit of talk in the press, but I haven't really heard anything as such from England. So to get that call was obviously fantastic. I think my worry at the time was where I'm getting the day off. I think if we'd won that semi-final, the playoff in the 100, I would have had 12 days in the trot if I played the test. So I was sort of a bit worried about that and a bit worried about how I'm going to face up to that red ball. But yeah, look, it's exciting. It's always great to get a call to play for your country.
Yeah, I mean, it's unusual circumstances, I guess, to come into a test match having played in very short form cricket. How are you feeling? Are you well prepped after a couple of days with the lads?
Yeah, it's been good. These 3 days have probably been the best I've had training wise since sort of coming out of quarantine with all the COVID stuff and so, the scheduling and stuff. It's been it's really tough to get more than a day or two of training in. So to be able to get a good workload in here has been really, really good.
I just wonder how you feel about how your first go round in Test cricket ended. It was some unusual comments, I suppose, from Ed Smith about home and away cricket. Getting dropped for the home stuff happened, but getting picked for the away stuff didn't really after that. So I just wonder if you feel like maybe it was a slightly unfair judgment that was made on you at that time.
Oh, look, I think at the time, especially when you get dropped at the time, you're very emotional. You as a player, you feel you should be playing or you shouldn't be playing or you shouldn't be dropped and what have you. So I think at that time with everything that sort of went on, if you get dropped because you haven't scored runs, that's absolutely fine. People can handle it. And I think at the time, especially once the dust settled and you look back and you go, you know what, I didn't score enough runs there, especially in those last 4 or 5 tests that I had to be playing. So it was about the right time. But, the comments and things obviously didn't help. And you work your absolute socks off in your career to earn the right to play for England, and you get that call, and then to have comments that sort of derail you slightly as a player and get sort of pigeonholed into things. And, it's amazing how that sort of leads to just every single Tom, Dick and Harry having an opinion on you, whether it be on social media or what have you, and you sort of get, so I wouldn't say abused by that stuff, but every time you nick off or something like that, so it comes back to bite you. So, and it probably did affect me for the next sort of 4 to 5, 6 months, especially, I went away and I played some tournaments and I just couldn't get in the right headspace after all of that. But then having a bit of a break and getting back my thoughts and things mentally after all those comments and things happened, found a new lease of life and what I needed and realized, what I'd done wrong the first time. And luckily enough, I was still in and around the white ball stuff to put some of that in practice. So hopefully this time round, the stuff that I've learned will put me in good stead.
Thanks. And just one more. I just wondered if you feel like a different person really, or a different kind of a cricketer, because obviously a different format, but having spent a good deal of time as the world number one in T20 cricket with a target on your back and, everyone seeing you as a big wicket, I suppose, in that format. Do you feel a bit more hardened to some of the sort of slings and arrows that might come at you?
Yeah, look, I think when you're chasing, it's slightly easier than when you are being chased. When you set certain standards at a certain level, people expect certain things from you, and if you don't hit those standards for 2 or 3 games, you sort of get a bit of flack. Sometimes you think they're unfair because as cricketers, I don't know any cricketer in the world that scores runs every time they walk out, but everyone seems to expect that you should, and if you don't, then you're a bad player. And no one's allowed to have a sort of 2 or 3 or 4 game period where they don't score 100 or a 50. I think we've all lost sort of touch with that a little bit. Cricket's not an easy game. Test cricket's not an easy game. So hopefully, as I said, this time around, hopefully I've learned from those lessons, and hopefully, from the emotional side of it, you can sort of put the failures behind you and just move on and keep planning towards the next one and keep putting some runs on the board if you get the opportunity.
Thanks very much. Best of luck.
Cheers, Rory. We'll go with George DeBell and Paul Newman.
Good day, David. Congratulations on your recall. Uh, do you feel that playing the white ball stuff, high-profile games for England, has been a help in terms of coming back and playing, the intensity of Test cricket? And at the same time, are you at all concerned that you really haven't played that much red ball cricket? Is it 4 games in 2 years, something like that? I wondered how they offset each other, basically.
Yeah, I think playing in international cricket sort of keeps you up and with the pace of international cricket. You can play all the domestic cricket you want, but it's such a total different game. It's a total different intensity, total different scrutiny on it, and it's a total different sort of bowling set that you face as well, whether that be white ball cricket or red ball cricket. So I think playing the white ball cricket at that level, under that pressure, that scrutiny, I think that does help you to stay in and around the mix. Once again, that doesn't guarantee you runs to play in a different format, whether that be Test cricket from 50 over cricket or 2020 to Test cricket. Doesn't guarantee you any runs or form, but I think from a mental point of view, it probably helps you slightly to be used to the pressures that come with it. But once again, there's no guarantees of that. And sorry, what was the second question, George? Please?
It was about, I guess, not having played a lot of red ball cricket, and obviously technically it's quite different with the lateral movement and what have you, whether that's a concern at all.
Yeah, it is. I think we all know how tough English conditions can be at times. It's also a great place to bat once you get in, as Joe Root has shown in all these tests. Even there's a little bit of nibble, he gets in and he scores big. And I think that's the challenge for all of us. Yes, not playing a lot of red ball cricket probably doesn't help with the rhythms and what have you, and the flows of Test cricket. But look, that's the challenge that we as players have. If we're here, we believe we're good enough, and it's up to us to find a way of doing it and actually being able to find a way of batting for long periods of time. Just a good 30 or a good 60 here and there is probably not good enough, really, is it? It's you want to score those big hundreds, and to do that, you probably have to bat for a day and a half. I think that's where the challenge comes when you don't play a lot of red ball cricket. But I don't think we'd be here if we didn't believe we could do it.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, George.
Okay, we'll go to Will Macpherson and then John Etheridge.
Hi, David. I wanted to ask about your summer generally. Did you start it harbouring hopes for the Test recall, or did you feel like that was a bit beyond you this summer? And obviously you took some time out during the white ball stuff for personal reasons. Is it just been a bit of a whirlwind kind of summer?
Yeah, look, I've always wanted to have another crack at Test cricket. Realistically, did I think it would happen? Probably not. So for me, this is a fantastic opportunity. It's an unbelievable opportunity, really, to get another crack at it when you didn't really think it was happening. Sometimes you say the right things, but you don't really believe that it would happen. So, yeah, from that point of view, it's obviously great. This summer, from the summer point of view, it's been really tough. Actually, it's been tough in the sense that I've been from November all the way through to now. I've probably had about a month break from cricket, and you're starting to feel it. Probably the last month or so, starting to really feel the need for a break somewhere in the schedule, and finding that break is really tough, especially when you're not contracted for England. So to find that break has been tough, but it sort of feels like you're just on a train all the time. It just keeps going and going and going. You don't have time to reflect and take a step back. So, it's been a challenging summer from that point of view, especially with the bubbles, and to get away from cricket, to actually be able to clear your mind and freshen up for whatever you have coming up.
Okay, go ahead, John.
David, yeah, I mean, you say that you're disappointed, I suppose, to be pigeonholed by the previous chairman of selected as an overseas player. But having said that, there's a tour to Australia coming up this winter, a place you did pretty well 4 years ago. So I'm guessing you quite fancy another crack down there.
Oh, I'd love to have another crack down there. It was obviously a disappointing tour not to have won a game, but to have got some runs was nice. I'd love to have another crack there. I'd love to have another crack here. But the only way I'm getting to Australia, I guess, is whether I earn the right here in these 3 games or if I play these 3 games to sort of earn the right to go to Australia. But it would be fantastic if I do earn the right to have a crack down in Australia.
And just the last time you played, I think one of the sort of factors in you being dropped were a couple of catches that you put down. Is that your memory of that as well?
Yeah, I can't forget that, actually. I don't think I could forget dropping Virat 2 or 3 times and getting 150. So that wasn't one of my best memories of Test cricket, I can imagine. But that just shows you that's Test cricket. Just it's amazing that just before your time ends, how things like that do go wrong. It's you sort of stop scoring runs, you drop catches, everything sort of seems to fall apart. But yeah, it's not the best memory.
And the hands are pretty good at the moment, right? Handball sticking now, is it?
Well, yeah. Well, I haven't been in the slips much since then or before then, really. And I think that's probably the toughest bit when you fill different positions in county cricket and then you come into Test cricket and you sort of slot into positions you probably don't do very often. That's not an excuse because you still work your absolute socks off when you're with England to get better at the skills you do. And you're given all the opportunity to do that. But hopefully if I get back in there, I can catch a few more.
Yes, thanks.
Okay, we'll go to Paul Newman. I forgot you, Paul. Apologies. And then we'll go to Dean and Nick. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, you forgot me, Danny. Sorry. Thanks. Hi, David. It's similar to what's already been asked, actually. But as has been touched on, you were playing the 100 as recently as the weekend. Is that any sort of preparation for a vital Test match?
Look, I think it just is what it is at the moment with COVID and with scheduling and the way it is. Obviously the English summer is really tough to find a lot of cricket and to fit the schedule in. I understand that it can't be easy from an ECB or a scheduling point of view to get all those things right. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is, and we as players probably just have to get on with it.
Okay, we'll head to Dean and then Nick Holt.
Yeah, hi, David. Congratulations on the recall. I mean, last time you played for England, you were a Middlesex player. You've obviously made the move up here. I mean, just a little word on how that may have helped you and the fact that you're going to be playing now, I guess, on your home ground, where the last time you played, you got 199 in a red ball game.
Yeah, slightly different attack I played against then, I must admit. But yeah, look, it's been fantastic. The move up here has really refreshed me. It's been fantastic. I needed a move. I needed a change, and the change has done me really well. I'm not saying I've scored more or less runs since I've moved. That's not it. But it's just from a freshness point of view, a new challenge, a new set of people. Thoroughly enjoyable, and I've been looked after absolutely fantastically well by Yorkshire in the 2 years that I've been here.
And just tying in with that, does that add to the experience that you've got, and does that make you perhaps a little more phlegmatic about this opportunity? I know you want to succeed and want to do really well, but maybe when you're younger, you want it so much, you want it so badly that actually it can get in the way of you playing the way that you want to. Do you feel as though you've got the experience now to cope with that a bit better and realize it's kind of not the be all and end all, even though it's important, I guess?
Definitely. I definitely, after that Ashes series, when we went to New Zealand, I remember going there and getting, having a bad first test. I think I got 0 or 1 and maybe 10 or 20 or something like that. And then the second innings I got 0 again, and I wanted it so badly. And that sort of led on in the couple of tests that we got here. I just wanted it so badly that I tried so hard that even the lead up to tests, I was sort of burning myself out from a mental point of view, trying so hard at training and batting for 4 hours just for aimlessly doing things. So to be where I am now and to sort of hopefully have learned from that, to be able to accept that I'm going to fail in cricket. I'm probably going to fail a hell of a lot more than I succeed, as with everyone. Even the greats have failed more in their careers than what they've succeeded. And just accept that, and when I do get a fresh opportunity and I do get to another innings, to make sure that what's happened in the past is in the past and just play the way I. And if it's good enough, it's good enough, and if it isn't, then it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take one from Nick and then one from India, and then we're done. Go ahead, Nick.
Oh, hi, David. Do you have a specific different approach to batting at number 3? And is that what are the challenges of that position, do you think? Yeah,
it's actually not something I've done a lot of in my career. In red ball cricket, I might have done it 25 or 30 times. I try and play the same way however I play. I try and defend late. I try and leave as well as I can, and I try and put the bad ball away. And I don't think that changes much in the position. they bowl me 30 good balls, and I managed to survive those 30 good balls. Then hopefully in the next 30 you get some bad balls. So it's obviously the ball's slightly newer, fresher bowlers, so it'll be a different challenge. But I just walk out and I play the same way as I would batting at 4, where I've batted the majority of my career in domestic cricket. And hopefully what I have is good enough to succeed.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, last question, Subhian from India. Go ahead.
Hi, Dawid. First of all, best of luck for the match tomorrow. Your last test was against India in 2018. Since then, what do you think has changed in Indian cricket, in Indian test cricket team? Why have they become so intimidating all of a sudden?
Well, I think they're very well led. I think Virat, the way he goes about his business is very infectious, and he drags a lot of people with him. They've also got a lot of depth, not only in their batting but in their bowling as well. They've got bowlers that can win Test cricket in all conditions, as have shown when they've been in Australia, and they've been obviously here in the last Test match. So they just have a lot of depth, and they're fantastic competitors.
Okay, we're done. Thank you very much, everyone. Catch you all tomorrow.